All right, good morning. Good morning. Who is ready for fall? Here we are, ready or not. Okay, so today we are going to talk about getting organized. I'm your host, Georgia Davis, coming to you live from northern Utah, beautiful, scenic northern Utah. I don't always love living in the desert, but I love living close to the mountains, and living where I live, I am central to so many different places within one day's drive, and I just feel so blessed to be here and so grateful to have what I have. I know that life is always changing, and that's part of why I want to talk about getting organized today. I am on a mission to help you live a focused, driven life one day at a time. So thank you for being here with me. That's what this is all about. That's what these lives are all about. They've really kind of turned into a podcast, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be in this space and to be able to present to you and share my thoughts about this with you. So I want you to drop in the comments, what is your least favorite place to get organized? And I want you to think a little bit bigger picture here, not necessarily the obvious answer here, but I want you to just think for a minute as you're dropping that in the comments below. What is your least favorite place to get organized? Okay, so yes, we're going to talk about getting organized today. Now, I'm going to bring a new light to this because we're not just talking about our physical spaces today. There are more spaces to get organized than just your physical, your surroundings, where you live, your home, your office. We're also going to talk about getting organized inside of here and our bodies. How do we get organized? So, getting organized can be a really challenging one for some people. Some people are like superheroes with getting organized. I grew up with a mom that was very organized and could organize any space and make a mess look like the best order possible. Me, my sense of organized is usually little piles of things, and if you could look around my room, I've still got little piles of things. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Our mind works in order, and unfortunately I didn't get any research done on this, but our mind works best when we are orderly and our spaces are organized. When we have disorder or unorganized spaces, our mind, in a way, I believe, is trying to clean up and organize those spaces. So, as you think about this, think not just about your physical spaces, but think about inside of you and what you need to organize inside of you as well. Because organizing inside of you is just as important, if not more important, than the space around you that's organized. I heard this something a while back that the space outside of us is a representation of the space inside of us. Yesterday at work, we had a training meeting that talked about communication. And part of what came out of that training was that oftentimes our behaviors and the way that we communicate reflects what's going on inside. It reflects a belief or our habits, our skills, our mindset about what's going on inside. So as you speak, you're really revealing in so many ways what's going on inside. So I wanted to bring organizing inside of us also into this Get Organized episode that we have today. So if you're not somebody that doesn't really know how to get organized, maybe you have a house that you have to get organized, or maybe inside of you need to get organized. You've got to start with just one area first. It can be really overwhelming at first, and I don't care if you love organization. You have to pick one area to start with first, because you can't do everything at the same time. So here is my suggestion for getting organized. start with one of two areas. Either start with your most disorderly and unorganized area. Because when you get it organized, you're going to be like, wow, everything else is going to be so much easier. It's kind of like when you have, when you eat a meal. And I like food. There's a lot of meal analogies. It's kind of like when you eat a meal and you've got something on your plate that you don't like as much. And so you eat that first so that you enjoy everything else. That's kind of this analogy, is do the really hard thing first and then everything else is easier. Or if you really struggle with getting organized, then I would actually recommend that you start with your easiest place to get organized. Whatever that is. Maybe it's a bathroom, maybe, I don't know, it's a kitchen, maybe it's your bedroom, but start with the easiest place first and get that organized and start building up some confidence in your skill to move forward. Now, I'm also going to have a martial art analogy here. I'm a huge Kali fan. It's become a part of my life. It's a Filipino martial art. You've heard me talk about it here before. But when you start with Kali, you start with the easiest things first. You start with a basic 1 and 2 angle of strikes. It's very simple, just 1 and 2, and you practice those over and over and over again until you build up a little bit of confidence, and then you add something else to it. That's what this is like. So in the meal comparison, this would be like eating the stuff that you enjoy first, having dessert first, and then having the other things on your plate. So enjoying the beginning of this first is going to be really important for your success. Now, I made a commitment to myself when I got done with my Kali training, and it was, just enjoying Kali for 3 weeks, that when I got home, I was going to go through everything in my spaces in my house and simplify and get rid of the clutter, get rid of the unnecessary items, and just purge it out of my life. Just get rid of it. And so as I'm moving forward with this, it still hasn't happened. And maybe that's why I felt like today I needed to talk about get organized, because I haven't done it yet. My superpower is not getting organized. Getting organized is something that I really struggle with, that I really have to put time and attention and dedication into, because it doesn't really come naturally. Now, if that's the only thing I'm doing in my life, if I'm moving from one place to another place, then yeah, organizing is a little bit easier for me, and I've learned how to move from one house to another and maintain order. If you want tips on that, drop them in the comments. Drop it in the comments below. Organization and moving, because I've moved so many times. I feel like I've come up with some really, really good tips on how to move and stay organized, but we're not going to get into that today, because that will take up another 15-20 minutes. But what I want to focus on is just start with that one area. So identify where you're going to start. Set yourself up for success. If you love organization and you're really good at it, obviously you choose between starting with your easiest area or starting with your hardest area. There's benefits of both sides. And if you want me to go into this more, drop that in the comments and I will do a part 2 of getting organized. But what I really want to focus on is the importance of having organization and order in your life. It's hard for you to make a plan. It's hard for you to set goals. It's hard for you to really be successful, I feel like, if your spaces are not organized and if they're cluttered. Now, some people do really well in clutter, but for the most part, I feel like we function better when there's less clutter, when your spaces are organized. And you start by, one of the tips that's given is, if you haven't used it in the last year, get rid of it. Get it out of here. There's no reason for you to have it unless it's seasonal, it's event specific, and you're going to use it, and it's something that you always use. for a certain event or whatever. Set it aside, hold on to it, but if you haven't used it, if it's not providing value, if it's not serving you in some way, get it out of here. There's no reason for you to have it in your space. You know, we're moving into a time of year where if you live with 4 seasons and the weather's getting cold and you're inside more, you're going to be inside more. You're going to be in your space more. So just clear out that energy so you don't have to worry about it. It is taking up space. It's taking up space in your head. It's taking up space in your mind. So get rid of it. And you're going to work through every single area of your house or your office space or wherever you are. You're going to work through every single area and you're going to do this. You're going to clean it up. One of the goals that I have is to reduce by 25%, 25 to 50%, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I have that I'm just holding on to that may have some sentimental value, but don't really mean anything for me. So I can get rid of those things. And then, like I said, move through each area of your space. The next one. This one is probably harder than your physical space. This one is cleaning up and organizing one area inside of you. This can be a really hard one because you typically need to start with the most deepest parts of you and take that at whatever level is best for you. But our outward reflects what's going on inward. So take some time to just sit with you, whether it's a meditation, it's time in nature, it's time to yourself. Maybe you need to have a weekend getaway, whether that's staying somewhere nice or going camping or whatever it is, spending time with family. You've got to get organized inside of you. Mentally, emotionally, physically, you've got to take those spaces and create order and organization. This means decluttering your mind. What are you stressed and worried about that you can't do anything about? Realigning yourself. And this is something that Kali has really brought out in me is, where is my center line? Where am I going? What am I focused on? What's important to me? And how do I need to get there? Refocus. Take out the trash. What does this mean mentally and emotionally? Well, it means that you're getting rid of that negative self-talk. We talked about that a few episodes ago. Get rid of the negative self-talk. It's not serving you. It's not helping you. It's holding you back. It's not helping you move where you need to go in life. It's just bogging you down. It's hard to make a decision when you've got negative self-talk driving you. Maybe you'll be able to make a decision, but you got to get rid of that negativity. Not that things in life aren't negative, and not that you aren't going to have negative experiences and setbacks and disappointments. Don't let it stay rent-free inside of you. Recognize and notice how your physical clutter takes up space that's not necessary. Take that same interpretation inside of you and recognize how the negative things that you say to yourself and the negativity going on around you is holding you down and it's holding you back. It's taking up space where you could be thinking about the next step you want to take, or making a plan, or setting a goal, or focusing on where you want to go in your life. Take out the trash that you don't need in your mind. Get rid of those thoughts that are living rent-free. Invite other things to live in those spaces. Positivity, uplifting messages, your goals, your targets, your focus, what you want to gain and achieve out of life, where you want to be in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Set those SMART goals. And if you're not sure what a SMART goal is, drop SMART goal in the comments below, and I'll get you a link to my video about making SMART goals. Do your own research about SMART goals. There's lots of different content creators that have posted on YouTube and other platforms, the internet. You can search for SMART goals and be able to find how to set strong goals. We've talked about that in these videos as well. Look for them and then move forward and take action on them. My plan throughout the rest of the year, my goal throughout the rest of the year is to get my spaces organized, to get a better outline for how I want to serve my coaching clients and where I want to go with my life, the direction I want to move, and what I need to do to get there. Now, those are really, really big things for me to sort out and to figure out, but I have a deadline that by the end of the year, I want to know what and where those things are, which means I've got to get my spaces organized. This also applies to the property that you may have. You know, are you living in an apartment? Are you living in a home and you've got a yard? Do you have a lot of property? Do you have multiple properties? Get organized in each of your spaces. This does not just apply to the inside of your home. This applies to your family, your friendships, your connections with other people. Get those organized. Does your family need a plan? Does your relationship need a plan? Do you need to revamp what's going on? Maybe you do. We're nearing the end of 2025. We're going to be starting in a new year in 2.5 months. What do you need to have in place for 2026 right now, all the way back to the beginning of this series? Start now. Start now. What do you need to do to prepare yourself to be successful in 2026? And you may have to completely revamp your life. You may have to just set new goals and new priorities. Today is a new day. I call Tuesdays choose days because you have the option and the choice to choose what you want, where you want to be, and who you're going to become in the process. Today is the day that creates your history. And today is the day that you begin to work on where you want to be in the future. They say that future is really not a thing because we're just living in today. There's no future. There's only right now. There's only this moment. So make this moment right now count. I'm going to make a commitment that I am going to organize one area in my life, in my house, every single day. Now, I'm posting that commitment here because I know if I post it here, I'm going to be accountable. Now, this area might be a bookshelf, it might be a table, it might be a closet, it might be a desk. That's how I'm going to start. One area, and maybe it's small. My bathroom is probably one of the easiest areas to organize because it's pretty organized already, but I'm just going to focus on one area. This is your homework assignment. What area? Identify what area you're going to start with, and then I want you to list the next 3 areas that you're going to work on. And I want you to keep doing this. So when you're down to the last area, so you're going to work on area X, and then a list of the next 3 areas you want to work on. When you get to number 3 on that list, I want you to go back in and make another list of the next 3 areas you're going to organize. You're going to do this with your physical space, and you're going to do it with your internal space as well. We're going to go ahead and do a quick breathing exercise because I feel like breathing exercises are really important for helping set an intention and walk through a short meditation. So we are going to do 5 normal breaths just to focus on our breathing. And then we're going to do 5 intention setting breaths with holds. So we'll breathe in for 4 seconds. We'll hold for 4 seconds and then let out for 4 seconds. Are you ready? Let's go. First breath. Number 2. Number 3. Are you starting to feel some relaxation? Here comes number 4. And number 5. Make this your best. Okay, we're going to go into our intention setting breaths. We're going to do 5 of them with a 4 count in, a 4 count hold, and a 4 count exhale. As you breathe in, I want you to think about the areas in your life that you need to get organized, both physical spaces and internal spaces. As you hold, I want you to focus on ideally what that space looks and feels like. And as you breathe out, I want you to focus on letting go of everything that you don't need in that space. Take out the trash metaphorically in your exhale. So inhale what areas, what it looks like. Inhale, the areas that you want to focus on. Hold and focus on ideally what you want the area to look like. And then exhale and focus on taking out the trash. Are you ready? Let's go. Go ahead and take a 4-second count breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Inhale for 4 seconds. And think about the areas you want to organize. And hold for 4. Focusing on ideally what that space is going to look like. And exhale. Take out the trash. Let go of the toxicity. Let go of the negativity and what you don't need. All right, here's the second breath. Go ahead and breathe in. Focusing on ideally what you want or where you want to focus on. Hold and focus on the best possible way that space could look and feel like. Breathe out and take out that trash. Get rid of everything you don't need. Focus on it going out the door. All right, this is our third breath. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Here's our 4th breath. Really clean up those spaces. What do you want to work on? And inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4. Focus on what that space is going to look and feel like. 1. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Get rid of all that thing you don't need. Okay, here's our last one. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get those spaces organized. And 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. I know your space is going to look amazing. You're going to feel amazing. Thank you so much for joining me today. Join me next week. I don't have that title yet, but join me next week on Tuesday, Mountain Standard Time, 9 a.m. right here.